most intimate World Cup venue is simply bouncing up and down. No better way for Francophile Arsenal to begin the Champions League than at the champion club of the champion country. Not that this Lens lineup is exactly dripping with the star quality that would imply. It's a team whose title-winning spine has since disappeared elsewhere. Captain Jean-Guy Wallem, for instance, to Coventry, and it's weakened further by a handful of injuries, particularly in defence, where it's decidedly mend and make do. But there is potency up front. Czech international Smisser, crowd favourite Verel, and new signing Numa are already making and taking goals. Between them, those 11 have precisely 2 French caps, both post-World Cup. This 11 boasts nearly 40. That is since Emmanuel Petit was past fit, despite kicking his own shin in training last night. Ray Parlour was nursed through the same workout and makes it as well. So Remy Gard, and despite his late great goal at Leicester, Stephen Hughes, both start on the bench. It could be non-flying Dennis Bergkamp's one and only away European game of the season. Thank the tunnel for small mercies. Arsenal have never lost to French opponents. Lens have never before met an English team. The referee is Helmut Krug of Germany. His Champions League credits for last season included Monaco's trip to Old Trafford and the final itself in Amsterdam. It's a couple of days short of 12 weeks since English voices were last raised in the Stade Félix Bollaert. David Seaman, Tony Adams and no doubt several of Arsenal's 4,000 travelling fans return tonight to the scene of England 2, Colombia 0 in search of a similarly gratifying result. It's the start of Arsenal's 14th European campaign, their third in the senior competition, but it is their first in the Champions League format. First on the ball there for Lens was the star of their show, Verel. This is Smitser, the Czech, playing it through for Numa. And Martin Keown does what Martin Keown does best.
That was a timely intervention by Keown. Read the play well there and tidied up, but you know, the French are starting pretty brightly here, Peter.
This is De Bev. Dalma with the bandage round his right arm. He has a triple fracture of the thumb and he's bursting into the penalty area. Now Dalma! Keown's intervention together with Dixon was absolutely critical, and Arsenal are on the ropes early.
Yeah, they certainly are on the ropes, and this is a very bright start by Lens, and again I think it was interception there. In fact, it was Dixon that come across.
Stéphane Dalma over the first corner of the contest. Beyond Verel, De Bev retrieves. Dalma remains wide. Parlour between him and the box. And Overmars between him and De Bev. Winterburn with the ultimate clearance. Petit for Anelka. And now Overmars. Sikora, the fullback, with the tackle. Dehu with Sikora, getting it back to Guillaume Ramouz. Verel, lovely turn away from Dixon. Dalma, Stéphane Dalma.
Well, it was a poor finish, but they really are putting Arsenal under a bit of pressure here. Good, keeping control of the ball, good possession, really knocking it around, you know, and Arsenal have really got to be on their toes to keep them from scoring in this particular period. They've got to concentrate really hard.
Bergkamp still waiting to come to life, not just tonight, but over the season. And as a result of his short pass, Numa's bursting through the middle. Adams balked his progress. And Racing Club Lens have a free kick.
Well, Tony Adams, the centre referee, I couldn't really do an awful lot about it. I just stood and the player ran into him, which he did. There you are, he's just standing there. I mean, what is he expected to do? Disappear?
Whether or not Numa played for the set piece, he has it. Sikora is over it. Likewise De Bev and the captain Dehu. It's De Bev who hits it. Got a mini deflection, but nothing to cause too much concern to David Seaman. Dalma. Good starting challenge by Petit. Parlour was therefore able to find Bergkamp. Bergkamp for Anelka. Has he got the pace? He might have done, but he didn't have the ball.
Well, that was a wonderful pass there by Dennis Bergkamp. A beautiful pass. The pace of Anelka got him clear, and it just needed a little prod there. He got a bit of a knock, and finally the defender getting among his heels, but just a little bit of look at the pushing and shoving going on there.
But what a good tackle by Dahoud.
Oh,
took the ball
yes,
very, very well.
Of course it was.
It's quite a compliment to Anelka that Lance Seydouis having someone so close to him, even closer to him than Dahoud is apparently to Bergkamp.
Well, Dahoud's playing as a sweeper, and the number 9, Nyarko, is picking up Dennis Bergkamp, as he is now.
Bergkamp away from Nyarko, with Overmars alongside. Dennis Bergkamp, 2 back now, away from Dahoud. Bergkamp's cross, too far in advance of Overmars.
I think he was caught in 2 minds there, Dennis Bergkamp. He saw Overmars at the back post, thought, should I chip it to him, or try and chip the keeper? Maybe we'll see from this angle here. You know, he has a look up, and I think he was trying to chip the keeper.
Patrick Vieira. Parlour once again. Anelka couldn't take it down. Sikora very calm and collected. And Varmouze with a clearance that found Dalmat. Dalmat seeking out Smisser, and Adams was the last man before Seaman. Smisser's throw. Dubev. Over Numa towards Verel. Diving header from Dixon. Numa. Seaman's come. Winterburn got in the clearance, but he's taken a shove in so doing.
Yeah, fouled in the process. But there was a bit of a scramble going on there in the Arsenal penalty area, and when the goalkeeper came out for it, that wasn't too convincing, was it? You know, if the ball had run free there and they're claiming a penalty on Keown, I don't think so.
Smisser. Winterburn's clearance. Dubev again. Vieira down for Anelka. Petit. Couldn't find Bergkamp. Dalmat emerges with ball and tries to play in Verel. Dixon had hold of him. Referee waves play on. It's Tony Verel. Verel's cross and Seaman's parry.
Well, Verel looks to me to be the danger man, as far as Lawns are concerned. You know, he's given Dixon a bit of a handful out there.
Here he is again. Dalmat made the dummy run. This is Dubev. Dubev's strike. And the valve is let go from Arsenal's point of view because they've surely been under the cosh, and that's the reason why. This fellow, a bit of a Roy Race look-alike. And he's a good player too.
Yes, he is a good player. And as I say, he's given Dixon a bit of a warm time out there.
Dixon for Bergkamp, nice touch. Parlour. Bergkamp. Anelka's the target. Dubev robbed by Anelka. The second chance and needed it. Dahoud the skipper. Adams the skipper. Dalmat. Smisser. Lovely turn. Vladimir Smisser. Closed down by Keown. It's come to Verel. Tony Verel! Arsenal were playing with fire. And he is hot.
Well, we've said it before, but he is certainly the danger man. Petit looks as if he's got a bit of an injury there. But Verel makes a break, bursts into the box. Challenged by Petit.
Towards the end of the first half, a thought or two?
Well, I think Arsenal will be expecting a little bit more from the likes of Overmars and Bergkamp. You know, they're really not getting into the game at all. You know, they're depending again on this back four and doing a great job. And the midfield boys are doing a great job. But I think the lads up the front here have got to do a little bit more. I think they've been really troubled at the back. you know, I think Adams and company have managed to sort of, you know, keep the Longs team at bay, and there's not many chances, if any, for them. So that side of it is good for Arsenal, but I feel that, you know, there's to be a little bit more effort from the forward players.
Adams. T. Bev did well, and so did Dehu, and so did Sikora. That was nice. Nyako. Smisa. Minute of added time. Sikora has quickly taken free kick. Smisa. Cleverly away from Vieira. Berel. Please let it go. Sikora is wide. Numa's unmarked for the moment. Sikora's cross. Winterburn's header down. Parla got it clear. Nyako fouled it. Well taken and quickly. Vieira. And Nelka. There's Marie. And Nelka's held it up. Bergkamp's arriving. Dennis Bergkamp. Hardly typical of that man.
No, he's claiming a corner kick, but it was a poor effort on his left foot, wasn't it?
Well, this was deemed by the experts to be Arsenal's simplest Champions League journey. But it's turning out to be marginally more complicated than that. Their goal has been under more siege than has the Lens goal. And at half-time in northern France, it remains RC Lens 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal start the second half on the back of a ropey recent record in Europe. They haven't won any of their last 6 games in continental competition, dating back to 1995. A year ago tonight, they were losing in Greece without this man, Bergkamp, who wouldn't fly and won't again this season, so he's got to make the most of his one accessible away game.
I think we'd like to see him flying tonight on the pitch.
Well, Parla's fly kick has only found touch. Sikora, Debev, Smisa. Lovely wiggle this way and that. Debev again. Smashing ball for Etchi, changing the point of attack. Nyako, Verel. Vieira necessarily uncomplicated. Bergkamp, Anelka. Now they've got 2-on-1 if they make it count. This is Dennis Bergkamp. Now Bergkamp. No. It's just not happening for him.
Touch there. Yes, and I think it was a corner kick, but, you know, he just wasn't quick enough on the trigger.
You can't help feeling that in May and June and July, the net would have bulged then, but somehow in September it's not. Parla. Nyako close to Bergkamp again. Numa's come deep to collect. Tried to seek out Debev, but Winterburn read it. Vieira. Oh, he's got himself, and now he's fed Dennis Bergkamp. Good save. Didn't have a lot to aim at, the Dutchman, that time. But twice inside the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half, he's found himself with a clear view of goal.
Again, beautifully set up for him, and, you know, he hit it straight at the goalkeeper. Not like him at all. Normally he'd be tucking it away in the far corner.
More promising start, though, for Arsenal. Petit's ball in. Keown competing for it. And those glaring eyes will tell you it's a goal kick. If ever a player looked focused on a game of football, it's Martin Keown, and he looks focused for every game.
It's very encouraging that the start that Arsenal have made this second half. You know, I mean, 2 clear-cut chances, Peter. Not something they had in the first.
And you don't like to criticise Dennis Bergkamp. He's been very open about his shortage of form since the start of the season. He knows he's not quite there yet. He's an honest man, and we all know he's a fabulous footballer, just waiting to happen again. Debev, Verel, Numa going in there, Seaman coming to get. Anelka, oh, lovely turn of pace and a great touch as well. And this is Petit, and this is Overmars! Arsenal have broken through. A Dutchman for the English champions on French soil.
Well, that was an absolutely brilliant goal. I mean, the build-up to it was just excellent down the left-hand side of the field. Watch Anelka here, watch this little flick. Beautiful. Petit plays him across there, and lovely. I mean, we've seen Overmars do this so often, running onto balls like that and just sliding them into the empty net. Lovely, but beautiful pass.
What a slick finish. The goalkeeper, already perhaps because of Overmars' eyes, had committed himself one way, and Overmars was always going the other. Now Overmars, tail up, bit between the teeth. Mark Overmars! Oh! Now that would have been really special.
Oh, that was special. I mean, that was Overmars on overdrive there. Burst right through, and a great left foot shot. Beats the keeper, all ends up, and bang off the post. That would have been a great goal.
And you know, since half-time, Arsenal have started to look like Arsenal did look. Verel, Dalmat, and again Tony Verel and Stefan Dalmat. Parler in at his back, free kick. And it's very nearly plumb centre. Before it a change, and Pascal Numa is being withdrawn, and in place of him Daniel Moreira, a summer buy from Guingamp, who were actually relegated from the French First Division, but who blossomed during an awkward season for his club and was always tipped to stay at the highest domestic level. Moreira on, wearing 10.
Replaced by player number 10, Daniel Moreira.
Moreira is pulled away to the left of the free kick situation. Sikura's hit it! And hit the crossbar, and Moreira! And again Moreira. And Adams intervened crucially.
And just before him, that was Dixon as well that got the block on. But that was a tremendous free kick, wasn't it? I mean, Seaman's like stand on his heels. But look, we didn't see the interception here. Too late, we're missing it.
Moreira's corner into the side netting. Most dangerous moment from an Arsenal point of view. And here it is from Eric Sikora.
Well, Seaman just looked at that, didn't he? I mean, it was a terrific free kick.
There was some newspaper talk about that right full-back Sikora heading maybe to Manchester United. Not sure that it had an awful lot of substance, but it's to Lens' immense profit that he's stayed with them. Bergkamp, Parler. Parler into the penalty area, Nicolas Anelka!
Wonderful surging run again, down the right-hand side. And really, Anelka's got to do better, hasn't he?
Now Dubev's in trouble. The second yellow card of the evening for that foul on Emmanuel Petit. Petit's fitness, of course, had been in doubt prior to the game.
Well,
he injured himself in training yesterday, but this one looks rather...
Oh, yeah, that's a bad one.
Less easy to recover from.
Yeah, that's a bad one. It really cost him there.
Well, this young man scored an absolute belter at Filbert Street in the very last minute.
Yeah, you would know what a Barnes Wallace was, would you, Peter?
Of course.
Yeah,
I've watched my black and white films.
Well, that is it, yes. Yeah. And that was the goal, Filbert Street.
Yes. And if he can do to Guillaume Vamous what he did to Casey Keller, then there'll be no gunners complaining. That is not a pretty sight. It was not a pretty challenge. Smisa. Dalma. Again, it's Parler who's broken it up. Bergkamp, Vieira, he's free, Anelka's alongside. It's Nicholas Anelka, bags and bags of space. But he dwelt, and Sankhare closed him down. That was well defended by a young teenager who's learning the game and did well against Anelka, but you still feel that Arsenal perhaps
he should have done, yes, ahead. He should have done better, Peter. I mean, you don't want any better than that.
Adams, good ball.
Oh, nonchalant pass.
With the outside of his boot. He's getting a taste for it now, Tony Adams. This is Mark Overmars. And still Overmars, deflection, crossbar.
I thought the goalkeeper got a touch on that. Peter, you know, he come inside, again, lovely, hits it. I thought the goalkeeper got a touch. Certainly was the defender. I knew there'd been a deflection.
Well, this should be a corner. It was a lovely moment. Change for Arsenal, Bergkamp's going off. He's getting there, he'll be back. He'll be back. It may be his last appearance away from home in Europe, certainly before Christmas. Dehu, Dalma, Dehu. And the booking, was it for Stephen Hughes?
I think,
or was it Patrick Vieira?
Oh, he's given it. Vieira's come up on the screen there, so obviously our director feels it was Vieira. Let's have a look. Yeah, it was Vieira with a sliding tackle. Not an awful lot in that, was it?
But he's halfway to a suspension now in this competition. Moreira over the free kick. And nearer the camera, it's Sikora, who's already hit the crossbar from similar range. Eric Sikora. Oh, good save. Clawing away to his right, David Seaman.
From this angle, it looked as if it might have been going past the post, Peter, but, I mean, the goalkeeper's not to know that. Let's have a look from here. Well, maybe...
He couldn't have let it go, could he?
No, of course not. No, he couldn't take the chance.
91.5 minutes on the clock. Moreira's corner! And Ferrell with the equaliser! And Arsenal are stung at the last! This is the golden boy of the French champions. And he's made Arsenal pay for the chances that they haven't taken.
Well, the ball whipped into the near post. Little flick on, and he compiling in there, just got a touch on it, knocked it past the keeper. But it was a bad goal to lose, right at the very end of the game.
Dixon in a hurry with it. Overmars coming to get it. Up in the air by Sikora. It was his free kick which won the corner from which Lawrence equalised. The game is over, and Arsenal must perceive this as points dropped. Late strike from Tony Virel, and Daniel Leclerc's team have collected a point which, on the balance of play, they can't have anticipated. Terrific colour, terrific noise their supporters provide, and they feel terrific joy. Nicholas Anelka had chances. Tony Virel had only one and took it. Mark Overmars had given Arsenal the lead early in the first half. They'd made themselves favourites to hang on to it, but they couldn't hang on to it. And the final score inside Le Stade Félix Bollaert is Lens 1, Arsenal 1.
Arsene, I wouldn't think you'd be too happy with what happened in the last minute there.
No, I'm very unhappy, but football lasts 93 minutes sometimes. But I'm pleased with our performance. I think we should have won this game easily and played very well. But of course, unfortunately, we dropped 2 points here.
Mark, is that a game you should have won tonight?
Absolutely. We dominated the whole second half, created 4 chances, and then you see in the last minute they score a goal, and it's unbelievable.
We got to take something from the game and say that we played well, and hopefully we can play well further on in the competition.
I think sometimes you have to be positive even if you're disappointed, and that's one of those evenings. I think Arsenal played very well tonight and was very strong. Unfortunately, we gave a goal away in the last minute, in the last second, and I think that was not, of course, we are not lucky, but I think as well, but in some occasions we had 2 or 3 breaks where we're not offside at all, and but it's too difficult to accept, especially in this kind of positions.
It was not a great team, and this kind of match you have to win, and a draw is for me not satisfying.
That's points lost rather than points gained.
Yep. That's my opinion. Yeah.
And at the end of it, did you see enough there to think that you can qualify from the group tonight?
I don't know. I think we have quality, and we have played away. Don't forget that, and we got a point, and I would say we have the quality to qualify.
Phil Mepham asking the questions there. Don't forget, it's just 1 to qualify automatically from each group. Latest news on Manu Petit, badly sprained ankle. Very doubtful for the game against Manchester United at Highbury on Sunday. Ian, they'll be upset.
Yeah, they'll be very disappointed. They created loads of chances. They hit the bar, they hit the post. Nicholas and Dennis will be a bit disappointed with maybe the finishing, but Arsenal did create some good chances, good clear-cut chances at this level, and if you don't take them at this level, at any level really, you know, you leave yourself open for a goal in the last minute like that.
Kevin?
We could have been talking about one of the tremendous performances in Europe. Had Arsenal stuck away half the chances, because they were clear-cut chances. They played very, very well second half, and they deserved to really finish up 3 or 4 goals to the good, which is a tremendous performance away from home. And like Ian says, you don't take your chance, and up pops the devil, you know, 1-1.
Stalemate in the first half. Arsenal's terrific period early in the second, and a wonderful finish from Mark Overmars.
It was a great finish. It was a good build-up, and Nicholas got very fortunate with a touch here.
Did he mean this one?
I think he was doing it for himself, but he got a bit fortunate, and then Manny's got on it and he slipped in a fantastic ball, slide rule, and Mark's just finished it nicely there, just knocked it back where the keeper's coming from. It was a great finish, a great move.
He's become a great finisher, Overmars. He wasn't always when he was younger. He used to miss a lot of chances, but he's now taking them away, and he's finished better than any of the other 2 more renowned scorers for Arsenal tonight.
I'll tell you what, Ian, I mean, it looked like 1-0 to the Arsenal again, and I mean, to get done on a near post corner like that, they'll be livid about this one.
Yeah, they'll be very disappointed, but like all the times I've been at Arsenal, they've always made it hard for ourselves, but it's a great flick. This guy's had a great game, the captain, and he's a good flick. It's a quality ball in, and you can't defend that. It's very hard to defend that. It's a quality ball. It's unfortunate.
Kevin, I'd like to talk to you about Dennis Bergkamp. I mean, we all know about the flying thing or whatever, but he's just palpably not at his best at the moment. What do you think are the reasons for that?
Well, I think certainly the World Cup, he's never quite come back from that. I mean, a great season last year. I mean, he would have scored both those goals at the end of last season. But he is a bit of a burst player. He has runs. When he's on top of his game, he finishes. Tonight, he didn't show the conviction we expect from him. Almost in two minds there, which is not like him. It's Vieira again. He was tremendous tonight. Lays a great ball in. Look, he's so relaxed. Now you expect him to do something special, but basically he does what you would expect a normal player to do, and he's not a normal player.
Sure, yeah. And Nicolas Anelka, Ian, was so keen to do well, going back in France. He wants to get into the big squad there. And Crocky, he did miss a few, didn't he?
Yeah, he missed a few. I think he's unfortunate as well, you know, because I thought he played very well tonight. He held the ball up well. He caused his marker a lot of problems, but here he was unlucky because he's got a good contact on it, but it's over the bar. You know, if he hits that across the goal, he might be doing better. But this one was another great move from Patrick, and he's laid him in nicely. I personally thought he could have just hit this first time. He's dallied a bit. He's got one man's got back, another one's coming back, and now he's in a bit of a forest, and you know, it's just got away from him. But he's unlucky, you know. He's still young.
Yeah. Kevin, would Ian Wright have scored those?
Well, yeah, I mean, Ian would have loved to have been on the end of some of those chances tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah. OK, well, Arsene Wenger's put a very brave face on.
Stephen Hughes is lining this one up. Keown amongst those in a posse on the edge of the area. But there's Adams! Arsenal's captain strikes. Giggs. Keown with a foot in, and it was a good tackle. And now Overmars as Arsenal try and launch an attack, and here's Anelka who's broken free. Only Schmeichel to beat. And at the second attempt, it's 2-0. Hughes, pursued by Keane and by David Beckham, and Beckham seemed to lash out with his right foot as Hughes was being tackled. Keane caused him to fall over, but that was nasty from Beckham, and he's very fortunate to get away with it. Anelka has Vieira to his right, and that was a clumsy challenge by Nicky Butt. Jaap Stam was alongside him. Now, what interpretation will the referee put on that? It's a red card for Butt. Well, I have to say the initial impression was that Jaap Stam was providing the covering element, but Nicky Butt has been sent off for the second time in a week. Overmars. Hughes, and here's Ljungberg, and the new man has scored within 5 minutes of coming on for his debut. It's 3-0.
At last, a local derby. Islington versus Paddington, ain't it, mate? It is for the guys in the basement of a Paddington hotel where Athenians come to worship. £3,000 for a satellite dish, and they get live coverage from Greece.
We have already sold out all the tickets in Athens. It's about 8,000 tickets. And we have problem here because we have few tickets.
Could be quite a few Greek supporters at Wembley.
A few, you say, yes. A few 10,000.
Well, it'll be good for the atmosphere.
Of course. We put them behind the stadium, it's no problem.
But can they put thoughts of Salonika behind them? Pana fans remember that with relish, though they're worried about Anelka and Vieira, and come out in a cold sweat when they think what Overmars might do on a prairie like Wembley.
And this is Overmars!
Wembley's fun for me. It used to be such a big pitch and so draining, but I love playing there now. I love the experience of going out there. You know, it's wonderful facilities, the changing room, and I've got some great memories, you know, great memories of playing at Wembley, and it's my second favourite venue.
What is your ambition now? To win the Premiership title again, or to win the Champions Cup?
Why not the double? You know, when you... I think so, I'm the winner. I want to win everything.
Panathinaikos, the Greek runners-up, because Olympiakos won the title, have added Asanovic to their squad, and it seemed to work against Dynamo Kiev, who scored first in Athens but were eventually overwhelmed, and that doesn't often happen.
Can you name the entire Panathinaikos side for me?
No, not at this moment in time, but...
Can you name one of them?
No.
Nobody in England could name a single Panathinaikos player, I bet.
This is the success of Panathinaikos. We have an all-round team. We don't base our football on stars.
London's like home from home. 30,000 Greeks live here, and the English connections are stronger than you might think. Panathinaikos was originally an English club. Sir Alf Ramsey and Ronnie Allen once managed them. And some of the lads from Paddington just happen to be Arsenal fans as well.
So the Greeks are going to have plenty of support at Wembley, but you've got to say Arsenal's still favourites to win the group.
Yeah, they are, and they must win. This is a game where they must win the home games, and they're not going to be overawed, the Greeks. They've got a capacity stadium. There's about 74,000. There'll be a lot of passion. There'll be a great atmosphere. But I think Arsenal will be too strong for them.
And we do know Asanovic as well, because of course he played at Derby County.
Yeah, we knew a player, didn't we?
We knew a player. Manchester United. Let's move on to